And once again, if you just go and do a Google search on Viztumbler, you will get to the page where you can download that for free. So if I just open up another browser, we'll go and Google that, and you can see it's actually been moved now to the viztumbler.net website. Alright, and actually this is just one of the newer versions that's just been released. I got the slightly older version, and of course you just go along to download that and then install it. Of course mine is already installed, but for demonstration purposes I'll just go ahead and actually save that once again. The other website link that I mentioned earlier on was the KNS Gem download, and of course the versions are updated pretty frequently. And as you can see, just demonstrating some of the nicer types of overlays. So it all depends how creative you really want to be. As you're going to see in a few moments, when we've got some of the data, we can actually populate that into the Google Earth. So those are some of the extra downloads. Looking at Viztumbler, we're going to go along and choose to scan access points, which effectively, as you can see, is going to come up pretty quickly. So I've got a pretty long list here of the different MAC addresses and the server set IDs. Now do take note that not all access points will have their server set IDs broadcast, but for somebody that is a seasoned wireless professional, the ability for them to actually hide that and then further secure that with regards to using encryption or certificate-based encryption at least. Nevertheless, with the SSID field being broadcast or actually being hidden, it's not difficult for a very experienced security person to actually find that out with a few different tools and techniques. There's 101 different YouTube videos out there. The focus for this presentation is to give all of you folks enough of an overview as to what are some of the risks, what are some of the countermeasures to consider when actually using wireless technologies. So we've also got the ability to look at the different authentication methods that are used on the different access points out there. You can see if we actually highlight, we get quite a bit more detail, and as you can see, giving you the statistics that you're looking for, the MAC address, the type of network that it has, what encryption it's using, the radio type, is it using an 802.11a, b, g, just some of the different standards out there, what authentication method it's using, the basic transfer rates. The further you are, the slower the wireless communications become, and also the manufacturer, and if there's any other specific parameters. So that's just giving us a list of the authentication, the different channels that's in use. So this is a great tool that you can use to see what other systems are using the same channel as you, and also more importantly, the actual signal strength that they have. So we could go along to choosing to graph that, and again we can actually see a better look at the channel map usage, and also what kind of signal strength does it actually have. So therefore we can actually fine-tune what channel we want to set our access point to. Most of you would have already seen this when you are in your perhaps house or your home, and you can see 5 other user access points, or you can connect to 5 other access points around you. So it would be pretty important to look at what channels are in use so that you can really optimize your usage within your neighborhood, within your area, your spectrum space. So once again, great little tool. If I take the graph off, although you can't see it until I move the slider over, you would see that when you do have a GPS device plugged in, it will actually give you the longitude and the latitude, and that's what's really used to actually plot the Google Earth map. So that makes that little pretty looking diagram. Okay, so once you've actually got your WarDrive data, you've finished your drive perhaps. You might find on YouTube we actually went out and did a war drive, but probably a little different to what most of you are used to seeing, either in an aeroplane and you've seen people do it on land. Well, because of the legal requirements, we were out in a European country, and it wasn't legal to necessarily do it on the road, so we decided to hop onto a boat and go and do a war drive throughout the city. So once you've actually got your statistics, you would then choose to export that. Now, if you choose to export it to KML, you could select the different parameters such as map open networks, map web networks, map secure networks, and then also use local images. And that would then export it. Well, in this instance, I've already exported my file, and I'm going to simply copy it to the actual root of my KNS gem. And then once I've actually copied it, well, let's close down this Tumblr. And we've copied it over to KNS gem. We run the KNS gem executable, and as you can see, that will actually start plotting the actual GPS locations, the longitude and latitude of the different devices, and then it will automatically create that KML file that we needed, and we would simply open up the KNS gem master KML file, and they will have the plotting appear fairly soon. Ours looks like it's taking a big dive into the ocean. So there you go, it's realigning itself. Whoa. And now it's going to go to the right place. Awesome. So you can see the detail. I haven't modified the actual data at all for this example. But here you can clearly see, if we actually highlight on any of these lovely looking numbers, the actual green or red boxes, you can actually get a lot more detail. So as an example, you'll see a lot more detail, such as the SSID, the vendor, the channel, the actual signal, maximum rate, the GPS data, and then what kind of boundary plots do you want to actually have. So, well, we don't want to lose that now. And wow, isn't that cool? So you'll actually see the green boxes would actually give you a thumbs up because you actually are using encryption. As you can see, if you click on the red boxes, it's actually telling you that there's no encryption. So there were quite a few wireless access points just found in that very small drive that we actually did. So pretty cool, not bad for a bunch of free tools. And zoom in there a bit faster. You can see we went on a pretty straight road, and we were able to find quite a few hundred access points.